So I am Dahlia Castillo. I live in Weslaco, Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley in South Texas. People know this area for South Padre Island, and I've been an OT since 1991. So I was born and raised until the age of 6 in this part of the country, and this is an area in South Texas that was part of Mexico until the Battle of the Alamo, when it became a part of Texas. And so it's right on the border of the Rio Grande and the northern part of Mexico, close to Reynosa, kind of in between Reynosa and Matamoros. My cultural background really is that my grandparents, two of my grandparents were born in the United States and 2 of them were born in Mexico. And so we have this deep cultural connection to the northern part of Mexico, which was all just one area. And my mother's family actually has ancestors in this area. We went on Dia de los Muertos last year, and we found a cemetery in the middle of a citrus grove where I have relatives that go back 300 years. And so that was just profound to me when I saw that. Here in this area where citrus groves are just everywhere. The next humbling thing that I got to do was I got to be a professor doing study abroad in Sevilla, España. And so being in Sevilla, Spain with students helped me learn that even among Hispanic cultures in Spain and Mexico, I've had the opportunity to visit Puerto Rico. We all have different dialects and we all have different cultures that we have to respect and acknowledge. And when we treat someone who maybe we know their language, doesn't mean we know their culture. And so getting to know them and what's meaningful for them is a huge part of what we do. And so I am continually trying to find out different things about different cultures so that I can be better informed in my own practice. Right now, my practice is teaching academia full-time. I live in an area that's over 90% Hispanic, so I'm very proud to be teaching other Hispanics, and I'm very proud that we are putting 20 to 30 Hispanic OTs into the job market every year, and I'm very happy about that, and that is my current practice. And I teach them, okay, you got to learn the other cultures too, to be a really effective clinician. And the first way you do that is by becoming aware of your own biases and knowing what you're ethnocentric about, because we all have it. We all have it. Gosh, I can answer this in so many ways, but I think the way I'm going to answer it is with music. And you know that I've been very involved with the salsa dance break at AOTA. That is something that it was not my idea, but I was able to talk with conference organizers and get that into play in 2016, it was 2017. The reason I say 2016 is because it was a whole year of planning and a whole year of organizing with conference. And then at the 2017 100-year celebration was the first year we did it. And so for me, it's music. And I can tell you, music at every occasion. I just went to a funeral last week, and my uncle, who was the accordion player in the band, passed away. And I just had all these memories of him playing the accordion and dancing to polkas. So when it's music, it's dance and this. And so my parents lived on a really big ranch and harvested. They were farmers. This is my mother's family. My father's family had a much smaller ranch, but they were farmers. And so we would visit from Lubbock. We would travel to come visit, and we would have at least one party every weekend while we were here. And so we would typically come in the summer, and of course it was too hot, so the party wouldn't start until dark. But I had an uncle who played the drums, an uncle who played an accordion, another uncle who played the bass, and another one I think who played the guitar, and another one who sang. And so they would play, and my memory is lying under the citrus trees, waiting for that music to start. So I have that smell of citrus in this memory, because they were citrus farmers, and hearing that accordion music. Now, what's funny is that this accordion music every summer, 2-3 times a summer. We'd celebrate a birthday. I have a big family, so there was always a birthday to celebrate. And the accordion music would come out, and they would just play and play and play and play and play and play. And I would dance and dance and dance and come out. In 1992, my husband and I traveled to Germany, and we went to just a regular tourist trap type of party where they brought out the accordion music. And I had no idea how much that accordion music just struck my heart. And so I started dancing to this accordion music, and I had no idea. I'm like, how do I like accordion German polkas? Like, how is this? So I go to this funeral, and I talk to my cousins, and lo and behold, my uncle, who was the accordion player for my whole life, bought his accordion when he was in the service station in Germany. So me and my husband had this moment of like being able to share this time in Germany. Every time we hear the German polka music, that I, with or without, and my husband's not a dancer, I would get up and start dancing to this polka music. And so I think that that is very connected to this salsa dance break that we do at AOTA every year, that has continued, that it just continues to grow. And it's just this fabulous moment that different cultural aspects come out in it. And I'm very proud to connect that to this salsa dance break that I think will continue on. It started in the early 90s with a group they were from Illinois. They called themselves HOTI, Hispanic Occupational Therapist of Illinois, HOTI, HOTI. And they started this grassroots organization for Hispanic OTs, and it was so well received that they took it to conference. I got into Todos in about 2014, I think is the 2014 or 15 there. No, 2014. And I went to a meeting, and I attended a meeting with my cousin, who at the time was an OT assistant. And God love my cousin. I knew she wasn't going to follow through, so I followed through for her. And I'm just the kind of person that if I'm doing something, I'm going to see it through. And so I got involved, and the next thing you know, I'm the chair. So by 2015, I was the chair of Todos. I co-chaired with another gentleman for a little bit. And then I started attending the Multicultural Diversity and Inclusion, the MDI network, which is an umbrella of 8 or 9 other organizations. And we're all very small groups, but collectively we have a unified voice, and we try to come together on different issues. Like I said, in 2016, we started the salsa dance event. And I was very intentional at that moment to not make it a Todos event, and instead make it an MDI, Multicultural Diversity and Inclusion event. Because with the name Todos, all are welcome. It's everyone is included. And so for me, it's about Spanish-speaking therapists, it's about Hispanic therapists, it's about foreign-trained therapists, it's about our Spanish-speaking clients, it's about serving a community. So it's much bigger. And the name Todos means everybody. And so I wanted to make sure that we included everybody. In the fall of 2024, I kept getting emails from people saying, run for the DEI JAB chair position at AOTA. And after I received the 7th one from 7 different people, I kind of saw that as a calling, like, oh my gosh, am I supposed to do this? Like, I think the universe is telling me this is a higher calling, and I really need to be the voice of people who are underrepresented. And so I made the decision then to run for this office, and ran for it and got elected. And so I'm very grateful to my friends. And going to conference this year in Philadelphia, I had people come up to me saying, I told everyone I know to vote for you. So I'm really trying to do research with my students on the Hispanic population. And I'm trying to take a look at some of the literature gaps that have been done on other races and ethnicities, and kind of see if we're the same or different. And so what I see for our profession in the next 20 years, or what I envision, what my goal is that our profession, the makeup of our profession reflects the makeup of our nation. And so if we are 20% Hispanic in the nation, then our OT profession should be 20% Hispanic. And so I really am trying my hardest to get more OTs, because we know this is better for our profession, because we know that our clients get the best outcomes when they're being treated by people who they can connect to and look like them and talk like them and are able to communicate with them in something familiar to them. And so it is my hope and my vision that we can reach that in the next 10 years, hopefully. And I like to think in my current position in academia that I am trying to close the gap on less than 5% of our profession being Hispanic, and increasing that to closer to the national numbers, which are, I believe, between 17 and 19.5%. I can't remember the number. That's from 2022. And so that is something that I hope to inspire and help out. And I think an important piece of that is for Hispanic students to go to institutions of higher learning where there are Hispanic professors. But I think our students do better when the people teaching them are people they can relate to. And that's just an important piece of it. I think that our nation has diversified, and our profession needs to catch up with the diversity that's around us. And so I've really tried to spend my entire career lifting up people around me in every way I possibly can, and encouraging them in any way I possibly can, and not letting anyone get me down. Keep pursuing your dreams, and keep making sure that no barrier prevents you from accomplishing your dreams.